Welcome guys. In this video, we will be taking a look at the top 20 best weapons in this game. So I tested each and every weapon's performance and made this list, and also it's based on my 3 years of experience in PUBG Mobile. Anyway, this weapon analysis is based on 2021 January 8th. And PUBG can either nerf or buff the weapons in upcoming updates. So the numbers can change in future, but currently, at the number 1 spot, we have MK14. Surprisingly, the MK14 always been on number 1 spot in my last 2 videos as well. The main reason why the MK14 is the most powerful weapon in this game is because of its damage. It has a base damage of almost 61, which is the highest in any fully automatic weapons. Anyway, let me explain you how the vests and helmets will give you protection. For example, level 1 vest and helmets will give you 30% protection, meaning that they will reduce the damage by 30%. Similarly, the level 2 vest and helmet will give you 40% protection, and the level 3 will give you 55% protection from the base damage. And MK14 only requires 4 bullets to take down the opponent. Doesn't matter what type of armor the opponent is using, just 4 bullets are enough. Every time I fight against MK14, there is a higher chance of me losing the fight. Sometimes it can shoot without making any sound after first shot. By the way, that's a glitch, which is another advantage for that weapon. Moving on to the MK14's recoil, higher damage comes at the cost of higher recoil. So MK has the highest damage in any fully automatic weapon, so it will also have the highest recoil in the game. Anyway, MK14 has only 2 attachments for reducing the recoil, muzzle and stock attachments. For the muzzle, compensator is the best, and for stock, cheek pad. Its main purpose is for single tapping. Just for comparison, we are comparing MK's recoil next to AKM fully attached to see how it looks. It looks like the vertical recoil is almost close, but however, the horizontal recoil is way higher. You absolutely need to run MK14 with its full attachments, otherwise, your sprays will look like this. But exactly how powerful is MK14? In terms of numbers, it has 668 damage per second, which is the highest in this game. Anyway, there are 3 situations in time to kill calculations, one where all the bullets hit the upper chest area, and another one where all the bullet hits the headshot, and lastly, one shot is a headshot, and rest all hit the upper chest. And the time to kill calculations are also the lowest, making the MK14 the most powerful weapon in this game. Being the most powerful weapon doesn't mean it doesn't have any downsides. Its main disadvantage is that its magazine size, limited to 20 rounds per single spray. This can actually get you killed in some situations like this. At the number 2 spot, we have Groza, an airdrop exclusive weapon. Groza is the most powerful assault rifle in this entire game, specialized for close range fights. Anyway, the Groza and AKM have the same base damage, but Groza can shoot 20% faster than the AKM and 18% faster than the barrel. Here is the damage chart for Groza, and remember AKM and MK47 Mutant also has the same identical damage. Moving on to the Groza's recoil, just for comparison, we are comparing Groza's recoil next to AKM and barrel to see how well it compares next to them. Surprisingly, Groza has the lowest recoil among all the 7.62 assault rifles, and if you want to run this weapon for mid-range, you could do that easily, because Groza's recoil comes really close to the M4. The best thing about this weapon is that it doesn't require any attachments other than a suppressor and extended mag. Anyway, suppressor doesn't affect the recoil that much, so it doesn't matter. But how powerful is Groza exactly? It has a DPS of approximately 600. And you know what? Groza is the only weapon that can outperform MK14 in terms of time to kill, but only when your opponent is wearing level 1 or level 2 vest and helmets. So why Groza isn't on number 1 spot? Because it can outperform MK14 in some situations. You might be thinking, well, MK14 is a weapon that is really good at all the ranges like close to mid and long range, while the Groza is specially made for close range, so that is why it's not on number 1 spot. At the number 3 spot, we have another airdrop exclusive only weapon, the M249. I'm sure everyone had argued with your teammates about who gets to keep this weapon. Everyone likes to use this weapon because of its magazine size, which is 100 rounds. That's more than enough to wipe out an entire squad without reloading in between. Everyone will recognize this weapon by its sound, and they will be afraid to take a fight against you, especially because the amount of damage it can do to your opponents. With this weapon, you can easily blow up the vehicles and kill the entire squad instantly. I mean the amount of damage it does. Just take a look at the damage chart, it has slightly more damage than the 5.56 assault rifles like M4 and others, but the thing is it can shoot 20% faster than them. So let's take a look at the M249's recoil patterns. It feels a bit difficult to spray with M249 at mid-range. And also let's compare it next to M4 and AKM to see how well the M249 performs in terms of recoil. By looking at this results, the M249 has the low vertical recoil, but however the horizontal recoil, I don't know what to say about that, but it looks really hard to control it. But the first 10 bullets of M249 have low horizontal recoil, so I would suggest if you ever had to spray with M249, try to take down your target in first 10 bullets, otherwise the horizontal recoil is really challenging to control. Coming at the number 4 spot, we have AWM, the deadliest bolt-action sniper rifle in this game. Of course it's airdrop-only weapon, so it will have some special skills. For example, it's the only weapon that can one-shot kill the opponent with an instant headshot. Here is the damage for the AWM. It has the overall highest damage in the entire game. Quickly following up at the number 5 spot, we have the M24, another bolt-action sniper rifle, but its main disadvantage is that it's not as powerful as the AWM. Anyway, here is the damage chart for that weapon. By the way, the M24 does 5% more damage than the Kar 98K, and if you want to know more about the differences between Kar 98 and M24, check out my weapon comparison, that might help you. So at the number 6 spot, we have Kar 98K. Some people prefer to use this weapon because of its sound, but technically the M24 is a better weapon than the Kar 98K, and they both have the same thing in common. They both cannot destroy the level 3 helmet in one shot. At the number 7 spot, we have the Uzi, the fastest firing weapon in this game. So let me tell you few best things about this weapon. It has the very low recoil, in fact it's lowest in any fully automatic weapon, but the damage is also low, since it can shoot 2 times faster than most of the weapons, damage isn't a big deal. Anyway, here is damage for all the vest and helmets. Pause the screen and take a closer look to understand how many bullets you need to hit in order to kill the opponent. The main reason why I'm putting Uzi to this list is because of its rate of fire. Uzi can shoot 2 times faster than most of the other weapons. This makes the Uzi one of the most powerful weapons in close range. If you play a lot of solos, then you must take Uzi, but however, in squads, there is a big disadvantage for Uzi. Uzi can only take down one enemy at a time. If multiple enemies comes at the same time, there is a high risk of you losing against them. Because you are only limited to 25 to 35 rounds, which is fine since Uzi can shoot 2 times faster, you might run out of ammo after killing one enemy, so Uzi is not a weapon that can be used against multiple enemies at the same time. I mean Uzi is so powerful in 1 versus 1 fights, you always win with this weapon, but if suddenly another enemy shows up, you might end up dying like this. So how powerful is Uzi exactly? It has a DPS of approximately 540, which is more than average of most of the weapons. And the time to kill results are really good, especially because it's under 0.4 seconds. At the number 8 spot, we have G36C. Quickly following up at the number 9 spot, M416, and then at the number 10 spot, AUG-A3. The main reason why I'm ranking all these 3 weapons together is because they are very similar. All the 5.56 assault rifles have the same damage and also the same rate of fire. Anyway, here is the damage for all the 5.56 assault rifles including SCAR L and QBZ. But what makes G36C a better weapon than the M4 and AUG? Well, it's the recoil pattern. G36C has almost straight lines when we compare it next to M4. G36C may have higher vertical recoil, but it has completely no horizontal recoil, making the G36C a better weapon for spraying from mid to long range. And I also compared AUG's recoil next to M4. Being an airdrop exclusive will have its advantages, so AUG has better spraying patterns and less recoil than the M4, but not good as G36C. The reason I put AUG at number 10 is because it takes 1 extra second to reload the weapon when we compare it next to M4 and G36C, and that can cause some problems in close range fights. Anyway, moving on to the number 11 spot, we have DBS shotgun. It's currently the most powerful shotgun in this game, and it was an airdrop only weapon few months ago but not anymore. But the way how a shotgun works is when you fire, it will hit 9 bullets or 9 shells of shotgun bullets. And each bullet will do a certain amount of damage. In case of DBS, here are the damage chart. Anyway, it's really hard to determine how much damage you do in a single shot, because out of 9 shotgun shells you most likely to miss few. And also here is the damage for vest and helmet, and this totally depends on how many shotgun shells will hit the enemy out of 9. Shotguns have the ability to one-shot kill the opponent instantly in close-range fights, and this makes the DBS one of the deadliest weapons to use in extremely close-range fights. But if you miss your shot, you will be at a massive disadvantage. Anyway, shotguns are only good in early games. As soon as the players start to get level 3 helmets and vest, shotgun's ability to one-shot will lose. Shotguns will do less damage against level 3 enemies, so it's not gonna be powerful in endgame situations. Quickly following at number 12 spot, we have S12K, another shotgun, but it's a semi-automatic shotgun. S12K has 5% less damage than DBS. 5% isn't a big difference because S12K can still one-shot kill the opponent just like DBS. Now at the number 13 spot, we have DP28. It's a very popular weapon well known for its high damage output with really low recoil, so the DP28 has almost the same damage of AKM. And here is the rest of the damage information about DP28. But also while maintaining high damage, it has almost the same recoil as M4, maybe better recoil controlling than the M4. But there are some downsides for this weapon. It sure does have almost the same damage of AKM, but it shoots 10 to 15% slower than an AKM. That's how it was able to achieve that low recoil, but also it's an LMG, meaning reloading takes a lot of time, and your movements will be slower and stuff like that. DP28 is really a great weapon for mid to long range. It has a DPS of approximately 430, which is low, but with low recoil, you can easily take down the enemies from far. At the number 14 spot, we have QBU, which replaces Mini 14 in Sanhok, and the amount of damage it can do, surprisingly, it does more damage than an SKS, which uses 7.62 ammunition, while the QBU uses 5.56 ammo. Anyway, here is the damage information for QBU. But in other maps, QBU isn't available since it's Sanhok exclusive only, so Mini 14 is actually gonna replace QBU in other maps, but Mini doesn't have the same damage stats as QBU, but it does have very low recoil for single tapping. Coming at the number 15 spot, we have Barrel M762, an assault rifle of 7.62 ammunition. In my opinion, Barrel is a better version of AKM, even though it has 5% less damage than AKM, but it can shoot 15 to 20% faster than AKM depending on your FPS. Here is the full damage information for Barrel. But the best thing about Barrel is that if you put all the right attachments, it will have better recoil controlling than AKM, as well as the Barrel gives you some customization with grips. This is the main reason why Barrel is on top of AKM. Anyway, moving on to the number 16 spot, we have Tommy Gun, or Thompson depending on what you call it. It's an SMG with really high damage of 42, a bit higher than 5.56 assault rifles. And here is the rest of the damage information. By the way, it takes only 4 bullets to kill your opponent if you shoot your opponent in either arms or legs. So that is quite interesting about this weapon. And always remember, arms and legs doesn't get protected by helmet and vest. The downsides for Tommy Gun are, you can only use red dot or holo sight scopes, but it's not a big problem since it's an SMG. SMGs are not good in the mid to long range because your bullets won't hit the targets due to the low bullet velocity. And the recoil of Tommy Gun is very high, almost close to the M4, but it's okay since it has almost the same damage as an M4. And now to the number 17 spot, we have the Vector, yes, another SMG. The main reason why I put this weapon is because the Vector is an overpowered weapon in 90 FPS. It outperforms any other SMG, and here is the damage info for this weapon. Now at the number 18th spot, we have Desert Eagle. It's a pistol, but not just any ordinary pistol. It has really high damage of almost 62. It can take down your opponent in less than 4 shots. Doesn't matter what type of helmet and vest your opponent is using, it just destroys. Here is the damage information, so you will better understand how powerful is this pistol exactly. By the way, it does more damage than MK14. At the number 19th spot, we have the AKM. It's still one of the most powerful weapons because of its damage, and here is the full damage information about AKM. I mean, the AKM is a great weapon to use in early games. It doesn't require as many attachments as Barrel. Everyone likes the AKM iron sight. It's the best iron sight in this game. Now to the number 20 spot, finally we have the Scar L, a 5.56 assault rifle. Scar L and M4 are very similar weapons, they both share same damage and the same rate of fire, so the stats will be very similar, but the problem with the Scar L is that its recoil. It has very unpredictable horizontal recoil. In close range, it doesn't matter since it's easy to control recoil, but for spraying in mid to long range, you will definitely feel the difficulty in controlling recoil. Anyway, that's all for this video. I hope you learned something new. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for more upcoming videos like this. See you guys in the next video.